Skyhook in 1974, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar averaged 27 points, 14.5 rebounds, and 3.3 blocks, making him one of the most difficult players to guard in the league. But he had one more signature move that completely changed how opponents defended him: the skyhook. At 7'2", his release point was nearly 10 feet high, and he would jump off one leg, contorting his body at an exaggerated angle. Defenders could barely touch the ball, only watch as it arced gracefully into the basket. What is more, the shot had no fixed release point. He could launch it with either hand from the low post or even right under the basket. From 1970 to 1989, Abdul-Jabbar used this shot to accumulate 38,387 points, a record that remains unbroken today. Opponents, including greats like Bill Walton and Moses Malone, tried to counter it, but no one ever succeeded. The skyhook didn't rely on speed or power, but on a perfect blend of height, flexibility, and timing. Many younger players, including Tim Duncan and Dwight Howard, tried to learn it, but no one could ever replicate its efficiency in a game. Today's league favors face-up plays, and with changes in training philosophy, this kind of low-post artistry has all but disappeared. The skyhook has become a legendary historical move, like a story etched into the hardwood. Abdul-Jabbar played for 20 years in the NBA, and he used this move for all 20 of them, with almost no signs of it becoming obsolete. The next move we'll discuss also comes from that golden era of the low post, the Dream Shake. Dream Shake in the 1995 Western Conference Finals. Hakeem Olajuwon faced off against that season's MVP, David Robinson. Olajuwon averaged 35.3 points on 56% shooting over 5 games. Instead of relying on brute force against the league's best defender, he used a series of intricate footwork, shoulder fakes, and spins to throw Robinson completely off balance. His movements weren't fast, but his rhythm was incredibly precise. Each jump fake felt real, and every shot was taken after he had created a mismatch. Opponents were either faked into the air or left standing still, watching the ball go in. This move was later named the Dream Shake, and that's how it got its name. This wasn't about overpowering someone with physical gifts. It was a psychological battle. He would bait you into jumping, then capitalize on the opening. The more cautious the defender, the more he controlled the rhythm. Michael Jordan personally sought him out to learn low, post footwork during his retirement, and Kobe Bryant later said Olajuwon was his primary mentor for low post skills. He was the only big man who could make a guard superstar humble enough to learn his inside game. Even more astonishingly, throughout the entire 90s, virtually no one could stop this move. You could know what he was going to do, but you still couldn't defend it. Many big men used post-up moves, but only Olajuwon could dance like he did. As the inside game gradually faded, a new move began to rise from the outside: the fadeaway. Fadeaway, the greatness of the fadeaway jump shot lies in its representation of lethality with elegance. Michael Jordan made it famous, and Kobe Bryant perfected it into an art form. No longer young players relying solely on explosive power, they could still dominate opponents one thanks to this one move. Jordan used the fadeaway to win 8 scoring titles. He would adjust his body in midair, creating a shooting window as if time had paused. No matter how tightly a defender guarded him, a slight leap and a raised release point were all he needed to finish with grace. Kobe's version was more like a work of art. He would use a series of fakes to lure the defender, then stop and fade back, releasing a shot that was nearly impossible to contest. Of his 33,643 career points, countless were scored with this move. This is not a move that relies purely on physical gifts. It demands rhythm, coordination, and a sense of hanging in the air. The older you get, the more experienced you become, and the better you understand how to use it to create space. Players like DeMar DeRozan and Devin Booker have carried on this tradition. They aren't the strongest or the fastest, but they can score consistently because they've mastered the soul of the fadeaway, creating their own rhythmic space in the narrowest of gaps. That is the fadeaway for you. A lethal move that only gets better with age. The control and dignity that the crossover offers a point guard also provide an ideal setup for the next move. The step-back crossover in 1996, Allen Iverson's crossover against Michael Jordan, instantly became legendary. He only scored 15 points in that game, But with one move, he made the GOAT look like a background player, creating one of the most iconic slow-motion clips in NBA history. The move was so deadly because of AI's incredible rhythm. A low dribble kept below his knee, and a change of direction so fast you could barely see the initiation. From 1999 to 2005, he averaged over 26 points for 7 straight years, with a peak of 31.4 points, all thanks to his ability to create space with footwork and rhythm. Tim Hardaway was the true killer crossover pioneer, frightening point guards in the early 90s. But Iverson brought the move into popular culture. In the 2010s, Kyrie Irving took up the mantle and turned the crossover into an art form. He didn't just break ankles. He danced with the ball, using his feet to manipulate the defender's rhythm, then finding needle, thin shooting angles. The crossover was no longer just a display of speed, but a battle of wits and skill for the point guard. Point guards don't rely on size. They rely on the space and respect this move gives them. No one can take the ball from you, and no one knows where you'll go next. That sense of control set the stage perfectly for the next move. The step back. Step back, James Harden turned the step back into the signature move of 21st century basketball. In 2019, he averaged 36.1 points and was an MVP candidate, with most of his scoring coming from his accurate step-back threes and foul-drawing ability. This move creates instant separation from the defender, giving the shooter ideal space while also drawing fouls for free throws. Despite some controversy and criticism that Harden was traveling, the league's referees, after careful review, confirmed the move was legal, making the step-back a legitimate and highly efficient scoring weapon. As the three-pointer became the focal point of the game, the step-back quickly spread throughout the league. Young stars like Luka Doncic and Jason Tatum widely adopted the move, using it not only to create shooting space, but also to adjust their release angle and rhythm. This move isn't just about individual skill. It is a microcosm of efficiency-based basketball. It reflects a player's mastery of space and their precise understanding of the rule's boundaries. The step-back's popularity also brought about tactical changes. Defenders now have to improve their anticipation and reaction speed to avoid being easily separated, while offensive players can create more scoring opportunities under intense pressure. This delicate balance made the step-back a controversial yet innovative focal point on offense, laying the groundwork for the next master of rhythm, the spin move-up. And under in the 80s, Kevin McHale was already using the up and under to completely fool opponents. This move relies on a pump fake to bait the defender into jumping, followed by a quick pivot in the low post to finish with a layup or hook shot. Standing at Sexton, McHale didn't rely on explosiveness, but on patience and precise fakes to force defenders out of position. In that era, the common way to guard a big man was with physical confrontation, but McHale used skill to break the deadlock, becoming one of the most unguardable low-post scorers. The move also tested a player's sense of rhythm and observation, as every step had to exploit a split, second opening in the defense. Later players like Kobe, Pau Gasol, and Dirk Nowitzki all adopted this move as a low-post staple. Kobe used it multiple times in clutch moments to get past defenders with greater height and wingspan, finishing with a beautiful touch. Though their physical styles differed, Gasol and Nowitzki also used the up and under to break down defenses, proving especially effective against stronger interior players. It doesn't rely on physical gifts like a power move, but rather on patience and a refined touch, making it a secret weapon in a big man's slow-motion arsenal. McHale's technique opened up a new approach to the low post, and it was this battle of patience and rhythm that led to the next legend, Hakeem Olajuwon, and how he used fakes to dominate under the basket with the Dream Shake. Turnaround Jay, Tim Duncan, Michael Jordan, and Kobe Bryant all possessed a quiet yet lethal weapon, the turnaround jump shot. This move requires a player to catch the ball with their back to the basket, then quickly pivot and jump to release a precise shot. Tim Duncan used this move to anchor the Spurs for 20 years, winning 5 championship rings. At 6'11", his excellent balance and quick release made the shot nearly unstoppable. Despite the limited space, it was difficult for defenders to contest effectively because the timing and angle of the turnaround were so deceptive. The move not only tests physical attributes, but also represents the pinnacle of fundamental skills. Jordan and Kobe also used it to break down defenses in critical moments, securing wins for their teams. It lacks flashy flair, but thanks to its solid technique and consistent execution, it became a standard for elite players. Every turnaround shot is released before the defender can react, and this efficiency makes it the perfect proof that fundamentals determine greatness on the basketball court. The turnaround jump shot gave both big men and perimeter players more ways to attack, increasing the overall variety of offenses. This type of detailed innovation also led to another kind of offensive power play, the explosive drive in transition. Next, we will see how it changed the pace of the game. Dirk leg kick Dirk. Nowitzki's one-legged fadeaway jump shot completely changed the way big men played offense. Standing at 7-0, he used this move to repeatedly create scoring opportunities during the 2011 NBA Finals against the Miami Heat's Big Three. His fadeaway had an extreme arc and a high release point that made it almost impossible to block. The move not only left defenders helpless, but also completely subverted the traditional post-up game that relied on physical force. The detail of the leg kick was considered to be on the borderline of a foul, but because the motion was so fluid and natural, referees rarely called it, making it Nowitzki's secret weapon to victory. Kevin Durant inherited the essence of this move. At 6'9", he uses a similar one, legged fadeaway, to hit high-difficulty shots. While slightly shorter, his exceptional coordination and balance have allowed him to carry on the tradition. The move symbolizes that big men can also shoot with elegance, giving interior players a stable mid to long-range shot in the three-point era. Nowitzki used this move to break the stereotype that big men could only play in the post, pushing a revolution in basketball strategy. This fadeaway jump shot, with its blend of power and beauty, put immense pressure on defenders. It showcases the evolution of basketball skills, and it sets the stage for the artistry of our next topic, the Dream Shake. Floater Trae Young, Tony Parker, and Steve Nash have all used the floater as their secret weapon to penetrate the paint and get past rim protectors. In the 2021 Eastern Conference Finals, Trae Young averaged 29.2 points, using this move to repeatedly break through the Milwaukee Bucks' defense. The core of the floater is a high arcing shot that goes over the defender's outstretched fingertips and gently falls into the basket. The move requires an extremely precise release angle and touch, as a slight mistake can lead to a miss or a block. For smaller players, the floater became a compulsory survival skill to deal with confrontations in the paint. At the same time, the risk of this move is very obvious because of the high arc and delicate touch. The margin for error is very low. A shot with too much power or the wrong angle will bounce off the rim or even go out of bounds. Nash and Parker were able to refine the floater into a consistent scoring tool through constant practice. It not only expanded the offensive range of smaller players, but also broke the traditional limitation that they could only drive and pass. The emergence of the floater helps smaller players find their own redemption in a high-pressure defensive environment. The delicate balance of the floater, which requires both skill and courage, allows smaller players to challenge interior giants, continuing the legacy of diverse basketball strategies. It laid a solid foundation for more complex mid-range shots that followed. Like the turnaround jumper, Eurostep Manu Ginobili pioneered the Eurostep, bringing the move to the NBA in 2003 and quickly changing the traditional way of doing a layup. This move, a deceptive change of direction with asymmetrical footwork, allows a player to quickly adjust their path in front of a defender, creating an angle for a layup that seems impossible. James Harden inherited and popularized the move, using it to average 36.1 points in the 2018-19 season and create numerous driving opportunities. Because of a rule change that allowed players to take 2 steps after picking up the ball, the Eurostep became a lethal tool for breaking down defenses. Fans cheered for it, but referees often found themselves in the middle of controversial foul calls, making the move a focal point of games. Giannis Antetokounmpo, a 6'11" giant, uses the Eurostep to showcase extreme flexibility and speed. The move makes his drives even harder to defend, and stats show that his shooting and driving success rates significantly increase when he uses it. Meanwhile, defenders lose their balance against the sudden change of direction, making the Eurostep a nightmare on the defensive end. It not only changed the rhythm of traditional post-up confrontations, but also pushed a revolution in the league's overall offensive strategies. The popularity of the Euro step symbolizes a shift in basketball from a power-based to a skill-based sport. And it also introduces our next topic, the unblockable skyhook. Shamgod, the name. Shamgod comes directly from God Shamgod himself, who created this deceptive pullback move in the 90s, which quickly became a classic point guard skill. The original move involved using one hand to pull the ball back and then the other hand to quickly push it forward, throwing the defender off balance. This technique requires not only an excellent feel for the ball and rhythm, but also precise timing. Because the move is so deceptive, it can create a clear lane for a drive or a shot. In recent years, Kyrie Irving and Jamal Crawford have innovated the Shamgod, using more complex footwork and speed changes to turn it into a visual spectacle. While it is often used as a show move to entertain the crowd and throw off defenders, it can also create scoring opportunities in crucial moments. Point guards love using this move to showcase their individual skill and confidence. It is not just a symbol of ball-handling artistry. It is a weapon for controlling the pace on the court. The Shamgod isn't a mandatory move, but having it makes an offense more dangerous and visually appealing. The emergence of the Shamgod marked a new level for basketball, ball handling skills, which also leads to the next topic, the dream shake. Another move that wins with footwork and rhythm, but with even more lethality. Windmill Russell Westbrook and Vince Carter have both made the windmill dunk their signature move, known for the wide single-arm rotation in the air before a thunderous slam. Vince Carter's windmill dunk in the 2000 dunk contest instantly made him famous. The move not only provided a visual spectacle, but also made him one of the most entertaining dunkers in basketball history. The windmill dunk requires incredible body coordination and explosiveness, so it is more often seen in fast breaks rather than in half-court sets. While not a frequently used move in game situations, the control and dominance it brings to the court are unmatched. Russell Westbrook used the windmill dunk in crucial moments to energize his team. His average of a triple-double in the 2017-18 season was in part due to this kind of explosiveness and aggressiveness. The windmill dunk is the ultimate expression of violent aesthetics, symbolizing the perfect combination of power and passion. Although not practical, it has become a hot topic for fans and media, and it sets the energetic foundation for the next classic move. This sense of power is reminiscent of another post-up masterpiece that focuses more on footwork and rhythm, the Dream Shake, the post-up artistry pioneered by Hakeem Olajuwon in the 90s. Pump fake Dwayne Wade, Chris Paul, and DeMar DeRozan all use the pump fake as a key weapon to draw fouls. The core of this move is to use a precise fake shot to bait a defender into jumping, creating more offensive space or drawing a foul. The pump fake not only tests a player's rhythm control, but also relies on experience and an ability to read a defender's habits. For this reason, it was hailed as a veteran's play, and referees in the early days even encouraged this tactical use. Although rule changes have somewhat weakened the effectiveness of the pump fake in drawing fouls. For example, with stricter enforcement of offensive fouls, it remains a key tool for high-level players to control the game's tempo. Wade averaged 25.5 points in the 2010-11 season, and many of his free throw opportunities came from successful pump fakes. This move isn't as flashy as an explosive drive, but its value becomes more apparent over time, as it is a display of experience and basketball IQ. The ability to control tempo with the pump fake makes it a crucial tool for consistent scoring on offense, and it paves the way for the quick rhythm of the next move. Stutter step Russell Westbrook, Derrick Rose, and De'Aaron Fox have all turned the stutter step into a key element of their explosive rhythm. The essence of the move is to suddenly slow down the dribble using a stop to throw the defender's balance off, and then quickly accelerate for a drive. Westbrook used this move 3 times, per G. Ami in 2016, with an incredibly high success rate, because his first step explosiveness was among the best in the league, making the stutter step a lethal weapon for tearing defenses apart. At the same time, this is not just a dribbling move, it is a rhythm reset, like letting off the gas pedal and then flooring it. By stopping and starting their rhythm, players can effectively control the game's pace and force defenders to be unable to predict their next move. Rose frequently used the stutter step to create space during the 2011 Eastern Conference Finals, where he averaged 22.1 points. This shows that the move is also deadly in high-pressure games. Rhythm control makes the stutter step not just a battle of speed, but also a psychological game, which naturally leads to the fast-paced driving and change of direction of the next move. Behind the back Jason, White Chocolate, Williams completely redefined ball handling skills with his behind the back dribble. This move could be used for both passing and changing direction, creating extreme confusion for defenders. In the 2000 All-Star Weekend, Williams' behind the back pass became iconic as the ball zipped perfectly through the gaps between defenders to a teammate, instantly making him a symbol of flashy passing. This move is very high risk because it requires an extremely precise feel for the ball and control, and a slight mistake can lead to a turnover. In his NBA career, Williams averaged 7.2 assists, and the behind-back move was a key tool for drawing defenders and creating opportunities. Although it looks smooth and effortless, the behind-the-back dribble is not just a fancy move. It requires a strong technical foundation and great basketball IQ. The move is highly entertaining and has become a fundamental skill for point guards, paving the way for more flashy passing moves later on. Next, we will look at another classic move that can catch opponents off guard. The crossover final shot, Michael Jordan's fadeaway jump shot, became the signature move of his career. In the 1986-87 season, he averaged 37.1 points and used this move to end countless games. Notably, in Game 6 of the 1998 NBA Finals, he used a fadeaway to seal the win against the Jazz, a moment forever etched in history. Meanwhile, Kobe Bryant's turnaround jumper also won countless crucial games. In the 2009 playoffs, he averaged 32.4 points, and the turnaround move helped him create shooting space against tight defenses. Because of the lethality of these two moves, they became the go-to weapons for their teams to finish games, cementing their identities as the closer. LeBron James redefined his scoring with the step-back three-pointer, especially in the 2016 Finals. He averaged 27.1 points with a 38% three-point percentage, and he used this move to change the narrative about his shooting ability. Stephen Curry's logo shot, on the other hand, completely rewrote the philosophy of shooting in the NBA. In 2015, he averaged 23.8 points with a 44% three-point percentage, becoming the face of the three-point era. These moves are more than just ways to score. They represent a player's belief and persistence, and they become the most reliable options in the final seconds of a game. It is because of these signature moves that superstars don't just score points, they pass down the spirit and tradition of basketball from one generation to the next. Conclusion behind every game: winning shot lies countless hours of sweat and endless dedication. This is not just about scoring, it is a testament to the will to win. The beauty of basketball is in the details, and the critical moments that decide games are paved with these signature moves. No matter how times change, the classic moves of these superstars will always inspire the next generation of players to push their limits. If you enjoy this kind of in-depth analysis and want to learn more about basketball stories and skills, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and join us to witness more legendary moments. The next episode will be even more exciting. See you next time.